Yes, go cut it. Go cut it, Joe. Go cut the lasagna. Go cut the lasagna.
Joanna's doing it.
Okay.
Who's doing it?
Joanna's doing it.
Hello, my name is Francine. Okay, and this is Joe.
Oh, stop, please. What do you want us to ask? What's that? What do you want us to do?
Giuseppe, just get out. My name is Francine, and this is
Forget about it. Just do it over again.
Okay. Hello, my name is Francine,
And my name is Giuseppe Baldo.
and we're the parents of Athena Baldo. And we just wanted
Athena Anna Baldo.
Athena Anna Baldo, and we just kind of want to give you a quick background of how Athena came to be. Joe and I met in 1994 in Cancun, Mexico. I was there on a trip with my girlfriend. He was there on a trip with his cousin and his friend. We met at on a beach.
On the beach?
Well, at a hotel on the beach.
I was at a hotel.
Anyway, so we met in Cancun. We both were from Chicago. We ended up having a lot in common in regards to where we were from.
I'll let you ask for the peso. The
And
exchange.
yes, and we, unbeknownst to one another, I flew in like a week after he was there, and we were actually staying in the same hotel,
What happened to the plane ride home?
and we ended up coming home on the same flight. Everything was booked in advance, and so we didn't even know that we were booked in the same hotel and booked on the same flight home. We spent the entire trip together, getting to know one another, and then we came back to Chicago, not really knowing if we were even going to see each other, because sometimes people go on trips, they meet people, you don't know what's going to happen after the trip. So after we got home, we said goodbye to one another at O'Hare. I remember I left thinking, I don't know if I'm going to see this guy again. And so we got home from Chicago. We got home from Chicago.
Yeah.
And about
So after a great week with Francine and her friends,
So after we had a really nice week in Cancun together, we came back on the same flight, and we said goodbye to one another at O'Hare Airport. And I remember I just looked at him and I said, it was really nice meeting you. I had a
we
great.
exchanged phone numbers.
We exchanged phone numbers, and then
We exchanged names.
we exchanged names and phone numbers.
2 days later, I ended up giving her a call. And my son, Alfonso, was in the background as we were talking.
He was married before. He had a son. And I remember we were on the telephone, and I heard a little boy talking. I said, "Oh, is that a little boy?" And he said, "Yes, it's my sister's son." I said, "Oh, that's nice. His name's Alfonso." Come to find out, it was not his sister's son. It was his son. Anyway, so we started dating. He had a son from his previous wife. And we're from Chicago. He's a great dancer. I'm a pretty good dancer. We did a lot of dancing. Then I get pregnant with our first child. So now I've got 5 children within 5 years. That was special. So we found a house right down the street, right across the street from the elementary school, on a corner lot. It was perfect house to raise kids in. And we bought that house. And
Well, we bought the house because literally you have to just open the door and they would walk across the street.
to school. It was so perfect. Our house was very important to us, and all the kids in the neighborhood would come, all of Athena's friends. All of our kids were all basically the same age, so they all had the same group of friends. So our house was the house. And then within the first 5 years, Joe and I separated. And it was a little rough. I had a lot of kids, but we made it work. The kids were not uprooted and had to change schools. Our lives remained very, very normal and on course. And that was very important to Joe, to make sure that nobody was like uprooted and kind of frazzled. So Joe and I worked as a team no matter what. Now our kids are grown, and Joe and I still remain pretty much of a team. We have kids that are in Nebraska and Colorado, 2 back here in Chicago now. But together we, although not married, not together, we still are very much together and still are a unit in regards to raising our kids.
Don't do something like
This is not hot.
that. I'm putting it in the microwave to heat it up.
We don't microwave stuff. Oh, that's good.
It's okay. It's okay.